Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's more intensely debated than whether a hot dog is a sandwich deportation. Under the Trump administration, deportation policies became a bit like your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. Loud, aggressive, and prone to making everyone uncomfortable. We're going to unpack this mess and look at the top 10 countries feeling the brunt of it. Buckle up because we're about to delve into the human stories behind the statistics. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this. Before we dive in, let's understand the why behind this deportation frenzy. The Trump administration didn't just inherit a system, they grabbed a sledgehammer. Remember DACA? It was thrown into the policy wood chipper. The zero-tolerance policy was as humane as a cheese grater on a sunburn. This wasn't about safety, it was about sending a message. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the country sharing a 1,954-mile border with the US. You guessed it, we're talking about Mexico. It shouldn't come as a shock that Mexico tops the list of countries facing deportation under the Trump administration. We're talking hundreds of thousands of people sent back across the border, many of whom had built lives, families, and businesses in the US. Imagine having to rebuild your life from scratch, not because you did something wrong, but because the political winds shifted. The economic impact on both sides of the border was like a bad tequila hangover, painful and long-lasting. Families in Mexico rely on remittances sent from relatives working in the US. When those breadwinners are deported, it creates a ripple effect that can be devastating. But beyond the economic toll, there's the human cost. Children separated from their parents, families fractured, dreams shattered. It's a story that's been repeated far too many times, and it's one that deserves our attention. Next up, we travel south to Guatemala, a country grappling with poverty, violence, and corruption. These factors push people to seek a better life elsewhere, risking everything on a dangerous journey north. Many Guatemalans seeking asylum were turned away or detained indefinitely. Imagine being sent back to the very danger you escaped. The US government was aware of the conditions these people were fleeing, yet the deportations continued. The stories of Guatemalan deportees are often heartbreaking. Many face extortion, violence, or even death. It's a vicious cycle that traps people in a nightmare. Deportation isn't just about sending people back, it's about sending them back to dangerous circumstances. From Guatemala, we move on to its neighbor, Honduras, a country plagued by similar issues, rampant gang violence, political instability, and a level of poverty that would make your heart ache. It's no wonder that many Hondurans see seeking asylum in the US as their only hope for a safer future. But under the Trump administration, that hope often turned to despair. The Remain in Mexico policy, a particularly cruel twist of the immigration knife, forced asylum seekers to wait in dangerous border towns while their cases were processed, which could take months, even years. Imagine fleeing for your life, only to be told to wait in a place where cartel violence is as common as a Starbucks on every corner. The stories coming out of these border towns were horrifying. Kidnappings, assaults, even murders. The Trump administration argued that these policies were necessary to deter illegal immigration. But let's be real, folks. When you're fleeing for your life, you're not thinking about the finer points of US immigration law. You're thinking about survival. The situation in Honduras, like in Guatemala, exposes the hypocrisy at the heart of US immigration policy. Our journey through Central America takes us to El Salvador, a country grappling with one of the highest murder rates in the world, fueled by brutal gang violence. Imagine living in a place where simply walking down the street could get you killed, and where extortion is a way of life. Many Salvadorans see fleeing to the US as their only option for survival. But under the Trump administration, even that hope was increasingly out of reach. The decision to end temporary protected status for Salvadorans was like pulling the rug out from under their feet. It left hundreds of thousands facing an impossible choice: return to danger or live in the US illegally. These weren't hardened criminals. They were families, workers, contributors to their communities. The impact of these deportations on El Salvador was devastating. Families were torn apart, communities destabilized, and the cycle of violence and poverty perpetuated. It was a lose-lose situation for everyone involved except perhaps for the gangs who thrived in the chaos. Now let's shift gears and head over to India, a country not typically associated with high deportation rates from the US. While Central American countries often dominate the headlines, the Trump administration's immigration crackdown cast a wide net, ensnaring people from all corners of the globe, including India. We're not just talking about undocumented immigrants overstaying visas, though that certainly played a part. We're also talking about Indian nationals who came to the US legally, often on student or work visas, only to find themselves facing deportation due to bureaucratic snafus, minor infractions, or simply because the political winds had shifted. The deportation of Indian nationals had a ripple effect, not just on the individuals involved, but also on their families, both in the US and back in India. The situation highlighted the often overlooked human cost of immigration enforcement, even when it comes to countries not typically associated with mass deportation. From India, we travel to China, a country with a complex and often fraught relationship with the United States. Under the Trump administration, that relationship became even more strained, with trade wars and political tensions spilling over into the realm of immigration. The deportation of Chinese nationals became a delicate dance of diplomacy and domestic politics, with both countries trying to assert their dominance without completely derailing the relationship. The Trump administration often accused China of economic espionage and intellectual property theft, using these allegations to justify stricter immigration enforcement targeting Chinese students, researchers, and business people. China, for its part, accused the United States of xenophobia and discrimination, arguing that Chinese nationals were being unfairly targeted. The deportation of Chinese nationals had a chilling effect on academic exchange, scientific collaboration, and business investment. Let's leave the complexities of US-China relations and head south to Brazil, a country known for its vibrant culture, stunning landscapes, and infectious music. But behind the samba rhythms and carnival celebrations lies a more complex reality, one marked by economic inequality, political instability, and a growing number of people seeking a better life elsewhere, including the US. Under the Trump administration, Brazilian deportations soared, driven by a combination of factors, including stricter immigration enforcement changes in visa policies, and a perception that Brazilians were overstaying their welcome. The deportations had a devastating impact on Brazilian communities in the US, tearing families apart, disrupting businesses, and creating a climate of fear and uncertainty. Imagine having to say goodbye to your loved ones, knowing that you might never see them again, all because of a change in government policy. The situation highlighted the often overlooked human cost of immigration enforcement, even when it comes to countries not typically associated with mass deportation. From the beaches of Brazil, we travel to the island nation of Haiti, a country with a long and troubled history, marked by colonialism, political turmoil, and natural disasters. It's a country that has known more than its fair share of hardship. And yet, under the Trump administration, the situation for Haitians seeking refuge in the US became even more precarious. The Trump administration's decision to end temporary protected status, TPS, for Haitians, a program that had allowed them to live and work legally in the US since the devastating 2010 earthquake, was met with widespread condemnation. The deportations had a devastating impact on Haitian communities in the US, tearing families apart, disrupting businesses, and creating a climate of fear and uncertainty. Imagine having to rebuild your life from scratch not once but twice, all because of political decisions made thousands of miles away. The situation highlighted the often overlooked human cost of immigration enforcement, even when it comes to countries facing extraordinary challenges. Our final stop on this journey takes us to the Dominican Republic, a Caribbean nation sharing the island of Hispaniola with Haiti. While often associated with idyllic beaches and luxurious resorts, the Dominican Republic also faces its fair share of challenges, including poverty, inequality, and political instability. And for Dominicans seeking a better life in the US, the Trump administration's immigration crackdown presented a formidable obstacle. Deportations to the Dominican Republic surged under Trump, driven by a combination of factors including stricter border enforcement, changes in visa policies, and a crackdown on undocumented immigrants. The deportations had a profound impact on Dominican communities in the US, tearing families apart, disrupting businesses, and creating a climate of fear and uncertainty. The situation highlighted the often overlooked human cost of immigration enforcement, even when it comes to countries not typically associated with mass deportation. Well, folks, we've reached the end of our journey, but the stories we've shared are just a glimpse into the vast and complex world of immigration and deportation. We've traveled from the bustling streets of Mexico City to the earthquake-ravaged neighborhoods of Port-au-Prince, from the vibrant communities of Little India to the samba rhythms of Brazilian neighborhoods in the US. Along the way, we've met families torn apart, dreams shattered, and lives upended by the Trump administration's immigration policies. But this isn't just about looking back at the past, it's about shaping the future. It's about demanding better from our elected officials, pushing for policies that prioritize compassion over cruelty, understanding over ignorance, and human rights over political expediency. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings, deserving of dignity, respect, and a chance at a better life.